Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Brey radio show. I'm Jack Nolan. I know Coach is in the area. He'll be here in just a second, but we can begin with some very good news for this program. Today it was announced that Bonzie Colson was named one of 10 finalists for the 2017 Karl Malone Award given by the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame to the top power forward in Division I college basketball. And that is a terrific honor for Bonzie. Bonzie's averaging a double-double, 15.6 points per game and 10.6 rebounds. He leads the ACC in double-doubles with 13. Of the 10 finalists, Bonzie is the only one to have double-digit double-double numbers while also shooting over 80% from the free throw line, 49% from the field. He is also ninth in free throw percentage in the ACC, and Steve Astoria is first. So again, that is great recognition for Bonzie Colson. As you can see, Coach has arrived. He'll be at the table in just a second. And that gives me a chance to remind you that tonight's Mike Brey radio show is brought to you by TireRack.com. And while we're talking running, passing, and three-point shots, the experts at Tire Rack have cornering, traction, and performance of a different kind on their minds. That's why you'll be able to get your tires right at TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install smarter. Also, remember, fans, you can see more and sit closer at Fighting Irish basketball games with Vivid Seats. Visit UND.com/ticket exchange, the official ticket marketplace of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Notre Dame Ticket Exchange, powered by Vivid Seats. The Irish, of course, have a big showdown on Saturday with North Carolina at the Dean Dome. Carolina first in the ACC right now, Virginia second. Florida State third, Louisville fourth, the Irish in a tie for fifth with Duke, Syracuse, and, of course, Notre Dame. And please welcome to our table the head coach of the Fighting Irish, Mike Brey.
We made it, baby. All right.
Let's start with this honor for Colson.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, to have Steve Astoria, a finalist,
yes,
one of 10
for the Jerry
West Award, and Bonzie for the the Karl Malone.
Karl Malone Power Forward,
yeah,
National Power Forward Award.
That's really great. I think it's a great example of guys get better in our program. Steve's been with us 4 years. I think he's improved. Bonzie's certainly improved. Great honors. Bonzie, VJ went over 1,000 points on Monday. Bonzie's staring it down. Guys have, when they've invested in us and let us coach them a little bit, I think they get better. So I think that's really powerful for our program. With Bonds and Steve on those watch lists.
And when you look at your team this year, I don't think there's been anybody who's been more consistent night in and night out. He's had average games, but he's never had a poor game this year.
No, Bonds has been fabulous. And, he takes on front lines that are bigger and wider and a little bit of everything. The physical, pounding that he takes is really amazing. And really, really proud of the player he's become, but he's got a great toughness and a great edge about him, and he's in the midst of a great career, and we got him back for another year because he ain't going pro.
Which is terrific.
He ain't going anywhere. No. He's going to be here for 4 years.
Here, and we're looking forward to it. When you looked at the schedule this season, you knew that you were going to take some lumps. Everybody's taking lumps. Carolina has lost to Georgia Tech in Miami. But this is the first time since your first year in the league that you've lost 3 in a row. So, the question, I know you've heard it, so I'll relay it. You get it from the fans, you get it from everybody. Do you do anything differently from what you normally do?
Yeah, I think you're mentally prepared, knowing how deep the league is, that you're gonna be in some stuff like this. Sometimes I thought it was going to come a little earlier, quite frankly. We got out of the gate 5-0 and 6-1 and 6-2. But now it's on us, and now it's how you manage it, maneuver it. I think there's always things you can look to adjust, and we've done that throughout my 17 years. When we've hit a skid a little bit, what do we do here? Do we do something different with the lineup? That's something I think that's up for debate. Who do we start on Saturday? We're still going to try and decide, who would be our fifth starter. I think we know who 4 of them would be. But I think everything is always up for discussion when you're hitting it a little bit. You don't want to overreact, and you don't want to overreact when you're 6-4 in the league, and your RPI is 25, and your strength of schedule is 30, and you've put a good, very solid resume together to date. So it's kind of a fine line there, what you're trying to do.
Well, and I think, and I say this a lot, and it's factual. In this social media world, we give everybody a final grade every 6 hours. The last game is the one game that people say that represents your entire season. Going back to October, both publicly and you and I privately, we're just, how are you going to get enough wins to get in the tournament? That's the goal.
Yeah.
Get enough wins to get in the tournament. And without a total collapse, you guys are in the tournament. And you, even against Duke the other night, you didn't play that poorly. You just didn't play as well as you could have against a team with 8 McDonald's All-Americans that's starting to play well. And you missed some free throws. And some of that, I think, might be fatigue. You've played 2 stretches back-to-back of 3 games in 7 days, 6 games in 14 days. That's actually a lot in the NBA, let alone in college.
Yeah, it takes its toll on our guys. I think after Monday, we tried to get a little rest on Tuesday and Wednesday. Good practice today, but it wasn't more than 60 minutes. And I think tomorrow it may be 45 minutes before we jump on that plane to Chapel Hill. And so, again, you're trying to keep guys healthy. You're trying to keep guys fresh, yet there's things you want to tune up, things you want to adjust. We've got a really stable, mature group. They don't overreact one way or another. And I think that's really positive for us as we try and maneuver these last 8 league games.
And again, the thing that I hear, devil's advocate as well, in those kind of games, you just got to play more people. Well, you're consistently 8 and 9 deep each night. Duke played their 5 main guys with a 6th guy thrown in a majority of the minutes. You can't change everything you do just because you have more games, because there's a reason those guys are playing. And your offense, which I love to watch, you run the occasional set, but it's read and react. And it's based on experience. And the less experience you have on the floor, the less efficiently your offense runs. It's the way you're built.
Yeah, we've been a little, and again, we're a little deeper this year. There's no question. I think one of the positives the other night was I thought that if you're going to take a silver lining off of a loss, Rex and TJ played better. They had not played as well against Virginia and Georgia Tech, which put Steve's minutes, Maddie's minutes, and BJ's minutes really high. We need those guys to keep giving us really what they've given us most of the year. So hopefully they can build on that a little bit, because that gives us some depth on the perimeter. Torres gives us some depth off the bench, and maybe we start him Saturday. It's something we'd consider. We started in the second half against Georgia Tech, and he gave us some good stuff. We're a little deeper that way, but we need all those guys really playing well together, and we got to help them as a staff. How can we put them in a little better position? We scored 49 points in the second half on a Monday. We need to be efficient in the first half offensively too.
And you talk about TJ, and he'd had a couple tough games, but he had 13 in the second half on Monday night, hadn't scored in the first half. Rex had 7 and does all the things that Rex does. But again, to beat quality competition, you need 5-6 guys to be on, and that goes for your opposition as well. When you've beaten other guys, their guys haven't all stepped up either, and there is no relief in this league. I liked your practice today. You worked a lot of guys in with the white shirts, and also acknowledging, and you don't do this a lot because everybody who plays basketball knows how mental free throws are. Yeah. But you've dropped out of the top spot in the nation. So it wasn't like you're running around yelling at it, but every 10 minutes or so, you did some free throws, and then you did some more just to get them back into the rhythm of shooting in a game situation where they had just been exerting themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought we needed to get reps at the foul line. I mean, we're second in the country. We're first in the ACC. Right now, I mean, we would break the record in the ACC at 80%. I think the record's 79. NC State 2004. National record is 82%, 1984 by Harvard. And, these guys take a lot of pride in it, but we just need to get back to getting some more reps at it. We need to do that again tomorrow because it is a weapon for us, and we've missed some key ones in our last 2 games that would have helped us.
And something, because you called a timeout and brought this to the attention of your team at Georgia Tech. You guys are at your best when you're really moving the basketball. And you've got hung up a little bit at Georgia Tech and a little bit in the first half, not the second half, with Duke not reversing the ball, not getting it to the other side of the floor. I wonder, what causes that? Just is it fatigue? Is it losing focus? Is it the other team doing a good job of cutting off the ball reversal?
I think you got to give some credit to the other team. You're not playing 5-on-0. And they defended that. Duke defended us. We made some adjustments in the second half and opened the floor up a little bit more and played out on the perimeter more. And I think that's to our strength, whether we have two big guys in or we're downshifted and playing with one big guy. Our spacing is really a key for how we, score the basketball.
And you ran some drills today that I really enjoyed watching, and you were really spacing the floor well and doing some things to get the guys back into rhythm in terms of making sure that they were spread out and moving the ball around well.
Yeah, I think that's a key for us. We need to keep that floor open and play outside that arc early in the possession and not get into that post area until later in the possession.
Folks, we have lots of questions here from our audience. If you have a question you want to submit and be entered into our post-show Under Armour giveaway, just get it over to the large staff hanging out at the end of the bar here. They're just keeping an eye on us. They're not necessarily doing what you usually do at bars. But get the cards over to them, and we'll start asking Coach Brey some of those questions right after this first time out. The Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House.
There are countless not very smart things you can do in your car. Painting your body green in support of Notre Dame basketball while driving. Painting your friend's body. Pretty much any kind of body painting while driving. But with TireRack.com, it's easy to be smart about your tires. Use our test results and consumer reviews to find the best tire for your car. Use our comparison tools to choose the right tires for you. Then have them shipped and installed fast. TireRack.com, official tire experts of Notre Dame basketball.
Join the gang at O'Rourke's Public House, located in Eddy Street Commons, directly across the street from the Notre Dame campus. With over 24 beers on draft and an extensive selection of menu items, they're sure you'll find something to your liking. Experience dining in one of the 5 different Irish-themed areas overlooking Notre Dame's beautiful campus. Whether you're catching up with an old friend, meeting, or enjoying dinner with your family, O'Rourke's is the place to be. Visit them online at o'rourkespublichouse.com. Cheers to the Irish from O'Rourke's, the official home of the Mike Brey Radio Show.
Notre Dame fans, see more and sit closer at Fighting Irish basketball games with Vivid Seats. Visit UND.com/ticket exchange, the official ticket marketplace of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Notre Dame Ticket Exchange, powered by Vivid Seats, offers VIP customer service and a 100% buyer guarantee on every transaction. Follow Fighting Irish basketball right into March Madness. Use Vivid Seats to buy your Notre Dame and other premier live event tickets by visiting UND.com/ticket exchange today. Go Irish!
Life's complicated. Banking shouldn't be. At First Source Bank, we make checking easier with the local service you've come to trust and find easier to work with. Our Easy Banking checking account features mobile banking. And if you sign up with direct deposit, your account is free. Free and easy checking. Come in today or go online at firstsource.com. Now that's not complicated at all. Easy Banking checking account subject to approval. $15 fee charged each month without direct deposit.
First Source Bank.
Member FDIC.
St. Joseph Health System has been named one of the 15 top health systems in the nation. So what does this mean for you? It means they'll keep you safe. It means they'll get you home faster. And it means they'll guide you through some of the most significant moments of your life. It's what they're called to do. St. Joseph Health System.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show. Matt Ryan's our special guest tonight. He's arrived right down here. We saved the best table for him. Get something to eat or take it with you. We can't give you much. We can give you food tonight, so enjoy that. Here's some questions from our audience here. Chandler Crane is here from Appleton, Wisconsin. After a few critical losses lately, what is the number one aspect of the team that is being emphasized in practice to turn the team around?
Well, I think we're trying to get a little bit more efficient offensively and improve our spacing offensively, because I think that hurt us, especially in our last 2 games. And so that's something we've tried to emphasize Tuesday a little bit, the day after the game. Wednesday was our off day, and today.
Do you agree with the fact that you have to take a day off? Is that good?
Yeah, it is good. I think it's a good thing, and might as well mandate it so we do it. I think it's great for guys to. Now, our guys rarely take a day off. They're usually in the gym on that off day. I just can't get with them, and I think that's a good thing. It's good.
When did they put that in? 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, it's been longer than that probably
Maybe
now,
10?
Jack. Yeah, probably not longer than that. Because you get into that thing where you want to go every day and you wear your team out.
That's what I mean. Before they had it, did you feel pressure?
Yeah,
to hit the floor
right.
every day?
You would feel like, well, you can't take a day off because who we're playing is not taking a day off, so we better be in the gym. And this has probably eased the pressure on all of us, and it's a good thing.
Jerry Liss, as always, is here. He's from South Bend. Coach, do you think it's time for college basketball, men's basketball games, to go to 4 quarters?
I don't think so. It was discussed a little bit, I know, with the rules committee. It's the one thing that's unique about college basketball, 20-minute halves. And so I don't see that changing in the near future, even though there's been a little discussion of that lately.
Chris Johnston's here from Boston, Mass. What do you do differently in practice after your team has a cold shooting night?
You don't really do much different. I think we have our breakdown shooting drills that we do, whether we've had a good night or a bad night in games. I think what our guys do, or especially our guys and we have a lot of guys that are good shooters, when they have a bad shooting night, they get some reps in before practice or after. They have their own little routine with one of the assistants to kind of get some reps up.
There's a few times where a guy's had a bad shooting night, and I'm leaving the building about an hour and a half later, and they're back on the floor.
They're back in there.
Shooting right there.
Our guest is a lot like that. Yeah. Matt Ryan is a guy that burns the midnight oil working on his game.
Gary Rivers, as always, is here from Mishawaka. And, Gary, it's a tough question because you're a loyal attendee. We will ask it. Coach, we're not getting much scoring, rebounding from our post players. Any chance John Mooney could see some action soon? I think he could give us a little help up front.
I think you're always looking at depth and more guys, and Johnny's a guy that's really had a good he's had a good year in practice playing against Bonzi and Marty. So I think you're always kind of experimenting with who would be the next frontline guy that you would need.
Brandon Liss, also from South Bend, also always here. Coach, with the team playing Villanova this season and opening at DePaul next season, are there plans to play other former Big East opponents?
Not right now. There aren't right now. Georgetown wouldn't be a bad one because we don't get into D.C. anymore since, Maryland's not in the ACC. But we do not have anything with another Big East team at this moment.
I mean, for example, you look at your schedule next year, it's tough.
We're out in Maui. You got Indiana down there. You got DePaul on the road. We'll be on the road for the ACC Big Ten Challenge. We got enough to bite off right there.
And you have to, it still kind of is. The threshold is you got to get to 20 most years.
Yeah,
below 20, it's awful hard to get into the Big Ten, regardless of who you beat.
You're right. I think we've strategically scheduled here to get in the NCAA tournament. The track record says it. And so that's always our philosophy. What is our strategic scheduling philosophy to get an NCAA tournament bid? And we will continue to do that. If that means giving up playing a Big East school or giving up playing somebody in the Big Ten, we got to do what we got to do to get that bid on Selection Sunday.
I checked this week. Your strength of schedule this year is in the top 20. So
yeah,
it's you are playing as tough a schedule as virtually anybody in the country.
At the end of the day, on Selection Sunday, and hopefully we show up in that bracket, our strength of schedule will be amazingly powerful. We still have 8 games left in this league, which is extremely powerful. Our non-league power games were good, and we were 3-2, which was helpful.
And you're almost 5-0, quite honestly.
Yeah, we were close, but the math and the philosophy of scheduling has played out for us to get bids almost every year, almost annually, and we don't want to change or mess with that.
We have a nice little gathering here at O'Rourke's Public House on a chilly early February night in South Bend. And they've submitted a lot of interesting questions, and we have more questions for the coach right after this timeout on the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House, presented by TireRack.com.
Need cash? Call 574-233-CARS.
LKQ will buy your car or truck.
Need cash? Call 574-233-CARS.
LKQ buys them all, running or not.
Need cash? Call 574-233-CARS.
LKQ even buys wrecked vehicles.
Need cash? Call 574-233-CARS.
LKQ will even come and get it from you.
Need cash? Call 574-233-CARS.
Get cash for your clunker at LKQ.
Legacy Heating and Air, the home of the on-time guarantee. For your service, call us free. Right now, you can get a new high-efficiency Daikin furnace at half price with the purchase of any Daikin air conditioner. That's a savings of up to $3,600. Act now for special bonus financing. No interest, no payments until 2018. Plus, Daikin offers the industry-leading 12-year unit replacement warranty. So call today, 855-273-8444. Legacy Heating and Air, a Cook family business.
Dave here. My friends at Notre Dame Federal Credit Union are celebrating 75 years of serving members right here in the local community and all over the world. This is why I love these guys. They actually have a soul and a different spirit of how they approach the customer. Since the folks at Notre Dame Federal Credit Union aren't going for profit, account members are, well, they're like owners. And it's easy to become one. Visit NotreDameFCU.com. That's NotreDameFCU.com to find out more. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hi, this is Rob Fisher from Fisher's Tips and Chips Barbecue. Don't feel like cooking for the big game? Well, come on in to Fisher's Barbecue on February 5th from 12 to 5 for our Fill-A-Plate buffet. You can fill your plate with any of our smoked meats. Our meats will include pork tenderloin, rib tips, sausage, and pork chops. Fisher's Tips and Chips is located on the side of the Country Bake Shop on 933 North, just north of Alton Road. Or you can look on our website, fishersbbq.net. That's fishersbbq.net.
Irish fans, the first ever women's basketball Pink Zone Zen-a-thon will be on Saturday, February 11th at Beyond Zen Yoga Studio to support breast cancer awareness. From 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., there'll be yoga and Pilates classes, and acupuncture, cupping, and massage therapy sessions. There'll be a mammogram truck on site in the morning, local catering, special appearances by players and coaches, and an evening prayer service by Notre Dame President Reverend John Jenkins. Donations are welcome and encouraged. We hope to see you there.
We're back at O'Rourke's Public House, the Mike Brey Radio Show, presented by TireRack.com. Nice crowd here tonight, enjoying all the food and drink that is offered here at O'Rourke's. And we've got a bunch of good questions. Jacob Faines here from Overland Park, Kansas. Coach, are we going to start playing through Bonzi more? Seems like every time he gets a touch, we get a bucket.
You know, we're always looking to get him touches. I think in the low post, it's been a little tricky lately because he's been guarded by some really long, athletic guys. Second half Monday, he was getting touches up around the elbow, and we had him out on the floor.
He passes well.
Yeah, he passes, and then he can drive from there, and he can post later in the clock. But he's a key for us to get touches for him.
You know, another guy that passes really well, and people probably don't realize it, is Martinez Gevin. His pass, if he rebounded as well as he's passing right now,
I agree.
It would be a big help.
Yeah, the one thing that helps us is our three big guys, and include Torres. They're good with the ball. You know, they're good. They know what to do with the ball. They're good passers. They know how to fit in. You know, that helps us.
Jimmy's here from Rumson, New Jersey. Coach, it seems like your team always responds and plays well after your technical fouls. Why don't you use this tactic every game?
Maybe I should, huh? We have swung the climate a little bit with officiating both in Tallahassee and Monday night. I try not to do that, though. I don't think that's helpful overall, but I couldn't help myself the other time.
Well, you wanted the one at Florida State.
I did want the one.
You didn't want the one at Duke.
No, I really didn't want the one the other night.
But the next 5 calls would have been Duke.
We did. Yeah. We did get them, and you know, I told our guys, I said, I shouldn't be getting them. I shouldn't be getting them in that situation.
Kyle, I'm trying to read the last name, Kyle. I think it's Kyle Vunje. Sorry if I can't read your writing. From New York, Coach. What is the worst non-charge and non-shooting foul that you've seen back-to-back?
Monday night.
Yeah, I think that's what he's fishing for.
Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a hard one to swallow. Those were hard to kind of digest, and thus I got a little emotional.
Yeah, Steve could have put roots down.
He was there for a long time.
And he was like 2 feet outside the arc.
Yeah.
He was barely in the lane.
Yeah, that one was, that's a really bad mess.
Daniel Hidalgo is here from Ecuador. He's reminding me it's in South America. Thank you. I did get an A in geography. I like geography class, and it was a multiple choice test every week. What do you think this team needs in the final minutes of games in order to beat teams like Virginia, Duke, and FSU?
probably a little more defensive rebounding oomph would help.
Only the FSU game came down to the final minutes. That
Yeah.
wasn't a final minute execution situation in Virginia or Duke.
Yeah. I think for us, being a little more efficient offensively, getting to the foul line some. Can we get to the foul line more? The great thing about the second half Monday, we got to the bonus quick, and we were getting to the line. We just missed 9 free throws. That hurt and it was something that we haven't really done, so that hurt us.
And to win at Carolina, you're going to need free throws again.
Going to have to make some free throws. There's no question about it.
Michael Lenich II is here. Coach, do you have any pregame rituals?
I have a lot of pregame rituals, when on the road and home, you're kind of superstitious about your routine and what you do game day and where you go and where you stop to get your iced tea on the way in and which hallway you walk down to the locker room, so I think all of us, all coaches, have some really wacky idiosyncrasies on game day.
I like your routines because it's easy for me to get that pregame interview because you actually come looking for me. You have to find me in a different room this weekend.
I know where to find you to knock that out.
I'm hovering around there somewhere. Well, that'll wrap up the questions that we have for Coach Brey tonight. But when we come back, you're going to get to meet a fine young man from New York City area. I'm sure he would want to make it very clear it's not actually from the city itself, Cortland Manor, New York. Matt Ryan's here, and he'll be joining us after this time out. The Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House.
Bank of America and the Notre Dame Alumni Association bring you the Notre Dame Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards Visa Card. You can earn cash back on purchases, groceries, and gas, and even get a $100 cash rewards bonus offer. Head online to my.nd.edu/credit card and learn more today. 2 card designs available, either the football helmet or the Golden Dome. The Notre Dame Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards Visa Card. Online at my.nd.edu/credit card.
Go coast to coast with the versatile 2017 Nissan Rogue. Display some fancy footwork with available intelligent all-wheel drive. And go for 3 with an available 3rd row for seating up to 7. So next time you show up to support your team on the court, bring your A game and show up in a Rogue. Take on game day. Get to Nissan, proud partner of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
At Great Clips, we have clip notes. Notes that tell stylists exactly what you like every time. Because if you don't get your great haircut every time, unexpected things might happen to you. Without your haircut, your dog might mistake you as an intruder.
Bobo, it's me. Bobo, ow, ow.
You might get put in a police lineup.
It's him. No, it's not me.
Avoid all the unexpected things that might happen to you with the wrong haircut. Go to Great Clips because they use clip notes. Notes that tell stylists exactly what you like. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Ashley is an athlete who is always focused on scoring the next goal. But when unexpected injuries happen, Ashley knows where to go. SB Ortho Now Walk-In Clinic, an orthopedic care clinic with same-day walk-in care for breaks, sprains, and sports injuries. Located in South Bend Orthopedics office at Douglas Road and 23 in South Bend. And open noon to 7 Monday through Thursday and noon to 5 on Fridays. No appointment needed means Ashley can be seen right away. Learn more at sborthonow.com.
Football fans, we all root for different teams. But now there's finally something we can all cheer for. The new pan pizza from Papa John's. Don't believe me? Try it with me now. Pan pizza, pan pizza, pan pizza, woohoo! Try the new pan pizza from Papa John's with a thick, cheesy, golden brown crust. Get a 3-topping for $10 and a 2-liter Pepsi for $2.
Papa John's, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
Limited time offer not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Additional toppings and taxes extra. All beverage-related trademarks are owned by PepsiCo, Inc.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. Joining us now, Matt Ryan, sophomore forward, 6 foot 7 inches tall, 228 pounds. I haven't weighed that much for like 30 years. You're Linky. Are you more than that?
I'm much less than that now.
Okay, what are you now?
220.
All right, 220 from Cortland Manor, New York. These are all from the media guide. All right, we'll let that go through.
Is that me?
No, we just blame Bobby. We'll just yell at Bobby after the show. No, just kidding. Just that happens every now and then. He has to adjust it. Matt came in, and you came into the season with very high expectations, and you battled through something that's tough to get through. Zach had to go through it, and it cost him. You broke your nose over the summer.
Yeah.
In a game of 1-on-1. Who broke your nose, by the way? You don't have to out him publicly.
I won't say his name. He goes to Iona College, though.
Okay. All right. So he broke your nose. That really hampered your ability to work out other than ride a bike. And then when you jumped back into it, you had a stress reaction that was almost a stress fracture in your foot. That cost him 2.5 weeks completely right in camp. That's hard. That really set him back.
Yeah, he's not had the best of luck overall. You know, he came off the hip surgeries and coming into his freshman year and recovered quick. And then this year started off a little slower, you know, lost some weight, the foot thing, lost some preseason stuff. So I still think he's kind of trying to get into a rhythm and find a rhythm with us.
You have had a couple of spectacular games. One I'll never forget. It was Chicago State. 5 threes in a row. I think you hit one 20 seconds after you came off the bench. 7 in the game, 23 points. You really hit Carolina A&T up. You have one of the hardest jobs, and you have handled it as well as anybody I've seen, where you're expected to come off the bench and knock down a 3 first time you touch the ball. And more often than not, you've been able to do that. How are you able to do that? What's the mindset? What's the skill to come in warmed up without having any warm-up?
I mean, reps is a big thing. That's what we've always stressed is the more reps you get up, the more confident you are when you get in the game. But, yeah, Chicago State, that was a fun day. Coming back from the foot, I think that was one of my first games back, and I was able to get in there and get into a different zone that shooters love to get into. But, yeah, coming off the bench and every time you touch the ball, you feel the crowd's energy around you rise because they think you're going to shoot it and score it right away. That was the thing that I had to do last year too. I came in firing, ready to go. So that's always what I'm ready to do.
And again, he kind of plays VJ Beacham's position. So Matt Farrell was in a similar position, that the guy that's in front of you is a guy who's kind of invaluable. I mean, you basically can't take him out of the game.
Yep.
I know that's a little frustrating. So how do you handle that?
Yeah, it's obviously frustrating. But it's been really fun to battle with VJ Beacham every single day for 2 years in practice. It's probably one of the best experiences I've ever had as a basketball player, being able to make each other better. And it's funny, we talk all the time about how he loves it too, the competition that I give him and how it's helped him have the year that he's had so far. And we're always talking about each other's jump shot, helping each other. And sometimes he has an off night, we'll come back in and work out. And no, it's invaluable, like you said, for me to be able to go at him every day and have him go at me.
And do you grab some solace from the fact that Matt Farrell is basically in the same position? And I know Matt was very, very frustrated. And then when that person moves on, because this team's built on being old.
Yeah.
So when he moves on, that opportunity is there. Gavin was in the same situation, and now he started all 23 games this year.
Yeah, Matt was in a very similar position. I mean, he had Demetrius Jackson ahead of him, who we all knew was going to the NBA. I mean, he's just an NBA player. He's going to have a great career. And now VJ. VJ has a great opportunity to go to the next level also. So I know Matt last year was just itching to get in and explode, and that's exactly what he did when he got the starting opportunity this year. And I'm the same way. Chicago State was just a glimpse. Every time I touch it, I think I'm going to score, and every time I get in, I just want to explode. And but it's being patient because VJ has put in the time and has gotten to a level where he really can't come out of the game because we need him in there.
You also recruit character, and just listening to Matt now is why he fits here, because it's always team first.
There's no question. I mean, well, first of all, he's a really mentally tough guy. You know, he has not had the best of luck when he's gotten in games this year. We kind of laughed about it in my office the other day. But you know,
guys have hit ridiculous shots over him.
Yeah, and he's had some cheap fouls and things like that. But he's an amazing weapon, as we've seen. And he's already had an impact. But he's not had a big enough bite of the apple to really be evaluated. There's some pretty good guys playing ahead of him, on that wing, VJ and Vastoria, who eat up a lot of minutes. But we have a lot of confidence in him. You never know when a Chicago State's going to happen in the ACC, and that's why you want to keep Matt Ryan engaged and keep trying to figure out how to use him and help him.
Well, one of the wonderful things about computers is I have almost every script from the last 4 years of every show I've done, and I've gone back when he first arrived on campus and then earlier this year. And as soon as he got here, you thought he could be the greatest three-point shooter in Notre Dame history, and you repeated that earlier this year. So I know you still have that belief.
There's no question. I mean, it's a big time. We've had great shooters here. He'll be there with, when it's all said and done, he's right there with the best of them. I think what he's done is learned how to do other things. He's learned how to become a better defender. He's an underrated passer. He's a very good passer, and he's an underrated rebounder. He gets up on the backboard. He's got great size. So he does a little bit more than just shoot it, but as far as a pure stroke from deep, there's not many guys playing the game in either the NBA or at college that have that range, that stroke, that size, that can get on a run like he can get on.
know you love to shoot. I love watching your stroke. Of the other aspects of the game, though, what things do you enjoy, and what things do you know that you have to work on that are a little tough for you right now?
Well, one thing that has become more fun for me is communicating on defense. In high school, I mean, being one of the better players, you can just do it, and it'll work. And when you get to college, you have such offensive weapons on the other side of the ball that you really need to be engaged and communicating with your teammates to get the job done. So that's something that Coach challenged me in one practice this year, and continues to challenge everybody, especially our captains. Who's going to talk? Whose voice are we going to hear? Who's going to make their presence assertive to lift everybody else up? And I think in games, we hear Bonzi a lot. Bonzi's voice is constant. And then we have Steve and VJ who tend to lead more by example. They're not the most vocal guys, but what they do on the court speaks for itself, and how they come to work every day. So it's good for me to learn from them, and that has definitely been something that has been fun for me to learn and to be able to do with my teammates, is communicating on defense.
I'm going to assume that growing up, the Big East was the college league that you were most familiar with and that you followed.
Big East and the ACC.
So you did, even growing up, even before Notre Dame was in the ACC, you followed the ACC?
Yeah, Big East and the ACC, that's what we watched growing up.
That's interesting. So how do you think they compare? The old Big East, the Big East that Notre Dame played in, no longer exists. The name has been moved to a different league. But how do you think they compare?
Every time I watched a Big East game, I thought there was going to be a bench-clearing brawl. It was, especially when I really started to understand what was going on and how physical they were. Because growing up, you're like, oh, that's a bunch of big guys running around knocking into each other. But then you start playing at a higher level in high school, and then you see how they're playing in college, especially in the Big East. And like, holy crap, they're really battling. Like, you think there's going to be a fist thrown at any second. The ACC, especially playing in it, you get to really understand it. Much more structured, smarter basketball. Those are the big differences.
Coach, from your experiences back with Duke, you got a great flavor of the ACC at that time, and now that you're back in it again, with most of the best of the Big East has moved to the ACC. Has the ACC changed? Have those Big East teams transformed the ACC, or has the ACC transformed those Big East teams?
You know, I agree with Matt. I think Matt's perception of our league is, you know, we have a lot more basketball players, high basketball IQ, feel for the game players, meaning frontline guys that are good with the ball and that are skilled, where the Big East had some front lines that were, you know, some tight ends and some linebackers that were just coming after you and playing that physical defense. And, of course, the rule changes as far as cleaning up rough play. You know, the old Big East, many teams survived on that physicality, and there were nights where we were devoured by that physicality. But, you know, I think the ACC, there's more guys that can knock down shots. The assist to turnover overall is different. You know, somebody had a good point. I said one day, you know, we played in the Big East when it was the best league in college basketball, and we played in the ACC when it's the best league in college basketball. And somebody said, that's because you were in it when it was the best league in Big East. I said, that's a great point. You're right.
You should take credit for that.
You're right.
Bring that up in contract negotiations, too. I mean, I like the ACC style better. I grew up in the 70s a Celtics fan, and they were really one of maybe two or three teams in the NBA that played truly team basketball. The rest of the league was playing isolation for the stars. And I even remember, you were probably too young when the Big East went to 6 fouls for a while.
Yep.
Because they were so much more physical, and then they were all getting eliminated in the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament because they fouled too much. So I think that this style is much better. Has it affected how you recruit?
You know, not really. I think one of the advantages we had in the Big East, because I thought we were very different than the other teams in the Big East. Our skill, stretching the floor, shot makers, we were hard to deal with because we were unique. There are more teams like us
now
in the ACC than there were in the Big East.
And yet you've had probably more success in the ACC.
We have, and we still are recruiting a high basketball IQ, skill guy, feel for the game guy, and that really hasn't changed.
Toughest question I can ask you sitting there in front of an audience on live radio is what it's like to play for this guy. But you can be honest. This is an honesty zone. There'll be no repercussions.
He knows that.
No, when he was recruiting me, that's a story I'll never forget. We'll probably never forget that, the first time we got on the phone. But playing in a system where it's really offensive-based and shooter-based, and it's just fun. I mean, that's the word that we use to describe it. It's fun playing with each other because we like sharing the ball with each other. And you just said, Coach's system was successful in the Big East and has been successful in the ACC. And there's a reason because of that. In the Big East, played smarter basketball against teams who strictly just had athletes and would push you around, but you would beat them with your IQ. Now you go into the ACC, and you're still recruiting the same type of players who are tough enough to play in the Big East but also have the IQ. So now you're out-toughing teams in the ACC. It's kind of a win-win.
You ever want to coach? Because you're darn perceptive in this sport. You really are.
He'd be great.
You should do that better because radio analyst doesn't pay that well. But coach, you could do that right away. So we're going to take a break here, and you know it's coming, but it's the fast break questions. We have a little more time tonight. You can have some fun, and I think you're going to entertain the audience with these questions. But we have to pay a few more bills here on the Mike Brey Radio Show. We'll be back after this.
Dave here. My friends at Notre Dame Federal Credit Union are celebrating 75 years of serving members right here in the local community and all over the world. This is why I love these guys. They actually have a soul and a different spirit of how they approach the customer. Since the folks at Notre Dame Federal Credit Union aren't going for profit, account members are, they're like owners. And it's easy to become one. Visit NotreDameFCU.com. That's NotreDameFCU.com to find out more. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Don't miss out on Goff Heating and Air Conditioning's lowest price of the year winter furnace sale on a new Bryant 96% high-efficiency furnace. You'll need no money down and have up to 12 months to pay at absolutely no interest. Call today to see just how many hundreds of dollars you can save. Let Bryant and Goff Heating and Air do whatever it takes to meet all your heating and cooling needs. Call today, 289-6511. That's 289-6511. Or go online at goffheating.com. Do it today.
Bud Light encourages you to make Super Bowl 51 the safest one ever. It's an easy call. Before game day celebrations begin, make a safe ride home part of your game plan. Whether it's a cab or a designated driver, planning ahead means you can enjoy every down of the big game with family and friends responsibly. This message is service of Bud Light, United Beverage of South Bend, State Farm Insurance Agent Tim Growell, and WSBT, reminding adults to make the right call, drink responsibly, and enjoy Super Bowl 51.
Mold, pollen, pet dander. Without treatment, these nasty contaminants can make your home's air a genuine health hazard. But now that clean, healthy indoor air you've been wishing for is finally within reach. Schreiner & Sons Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has a full lineup of Luxair indoor air quality products to help improve your family's health and comfort. Many of today's homes are sealed more tightly to conserve energy. Unfortunately, this also seals in pollutants, so your indoor air can actually be more polluted than outdoor air. Schreiner & Sons knows how to boost indoor air quality while reducing your utility bills. Every Luxair heating and air conditioning system offers an array of options to ventilate stale indoor air, zap airborne germs, and trap airborne particles. Improve your home's indoor air quality today. Call Schreiner & Sons at 574-293-8677.
The people you can trust with your keys. Your own utility company is here. Schreiner & Sons.
Call Schreiner & Sons today at 293-8677.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House, presented by TireRack.com. And Matt, you've already done this a couple of times, so I'm sure you've got brilliant answers for these. Your favorite all-time movie?
Favorite all-time movie? Remember the Titans.
That was a good one.
First car you ever drove?
My grandmother's Cadillac.
Ooh. Which model? Do you remember?
It was early 2000s.
Okay. It was big, right?
No.
No, it was a little one of those little cool. Okay, that's what a little cool.
Yeah, nice car.
My dad had a Caddy when I was growing up. It was 28 feet long. It had footrests in the back. Woo. He bought it used. And it ate a lot of gas. Favorite musical group or artist?
Florida Georgia Line.
Who is your role model?
My role model, my parents and my grandfather.
One thing the public would be surprised to learn about you.
I sing a lot.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not doing it now, but I do.
I wasn't going to ask you. I don't put people on the spot, although feel free if you would want to.
No.
Is he a good singer? Have you heard his voice?
I think I've caught it sometimes coming from the shower. It's not bad.
How many guys on this team like to sing?
Well, like or can. That's,
okay, how many?
You said like.
I said like.
The
All
majority
yeah.
like to sing.
Okay, how many can sing?
None.
Okay.
No.
All right. Twitter or Instagram?
Probably Instagram.
Favorite NBA player?
Wow. That's a tough one. I root for LeBron. I love watching Klay Thompson, how he runs around off screens nonstop, running in the break, stretching the court, plays without the ball. I mean, we saw his magic without the ball. He scored 60 points, only dribbled, I think, 11 times, and only had the ball in his hands for about 90 seconds, and he scored 60 points in an NBA game. So he's a lot of fun to watch.
Favorite thing to do when relaxing?
Watch Netflix.
Favorite part of practice?
Favorite part of practice? God, what do the guys usually say?
You could say
at the end. They usually say
70 all is a good time.
70 all? 70 all. Do you know it's the end?
All right. Is practice, is it a necessary evil at this point in the season? Do you guys like practice? Would you rather just play a game every other day?
Well, of course. You just want to play games, but you have to practice. I don't really have much more to say.
No, but do you feel because Coach often brings up when you get into like when you just came off 14 days, you played 6 games in 14 days. Didn't get to really practice a whole lot. And I think you sense that those practices, you don't even get that much out of them because you can't get into a practice rhythm. Do you feel sometimes when you get to practice 2 or 3 days in a row that you're getting better, that you're actually making progress?
Well, I think so because, just based off a record standpoint, we were playing better when we had a couple practices in between. So I think it'll help us right now because our coaching staff does a great job strategically planning off days and days where we can take it easy or days where we have to go at it. So, this break right now in between Duke and North Carolina, I think it'll be good for us.
And that's an interesting question. Many would have thought you would have taken the Tuesday off because you just lost the night before. But you went Tuesday. I know you didn't go full, but you went Tuesday and took Wednesday off. What's the thinking behind that?
Well, the thinking with off days a lot of times is, we had just lost 3 in a row. I don't like to not see my guys on the next day. When we lost a tough one, we've lost 3 in a row. I feel we need to talk, watch some film. We may not do a whole lot physically, but I need to talk to them and set the tone and let them know where we're at and where we're going. And now, if we would have beat Duke, we probably would have taken Tuesday off. So it's I always kind of float that given where we are in the season.
Back to the questions from Matt. Worst part of practice?
Stretching.
Which is better, knocking down a long 3, grabbing a big rebound, or dishing out a big assist?
You know you're asking that too, right?
Yeah, but I have to ask it.
Good.
Knocking down a long 3 every time.
And I love the answer, but I got to ask the question. You could have stunned somebody. It's the answer I expected. You're now in the Mendoza College of Business. First class you have taken, or favorite class you've taken at Notre Dame?
Probably management with Professor Stevens. That was a good time. Even though it was at 8 a.m., he made it fun.
Everybody loves that class. City or place in the world you'd like to visit?
I got to get to Italy at some point. I got a lot of family from there.
One person you would like to meet?
Donald Trump.
Okay. They're debating right now whether to invite him to campus or not. You may get that opportunity.
He's the president of the United States. If you don't want to meet the president, then I don't know.
People who have met him have told me that he's very personable one-on-one. One thing you always hear from Coach Brey in practice?
goodness. Again, I want to know what my teammates say.
Well, it doesn't matter what they say. You don't remember anything he says in practice?
Swing.
Okay.
Yeah,
swing it.
I hear that a lot.
Assistant coach who is most like Coach Brey.
I would say Coach Belanis, but I'm going to go with Coach Humphrey.
Why?
Demeanor. I think Coach Hump is on his way to becoming the next Coach Michael Brey.
All right. It was interesting. I was watching Hump today. He was pacing a lot like you. Wasn't saying
Was
enough,
he?
but he
Yeah.
was reacting to good and bad.
Yeah.
Physically a lot like you. He did a lot of
It's
pacing.
hard to answer that because in practice, Coach runs the show in practice. So sometimes you don't really get a good read on all the assistants, but I would say Coach Hump.
Player on the team most like you.
Rex.
Best nickname on the team and who has it?
I used to love hearing ZA call Bonds Big Baby, but we don't hear that anymore. The nicknames have kind of gone out the door since ZA and Meach left. But it's cool having a TJ and a VJ. It's a cool dynamic.
That's good.
And also we have 3 Matts. So if you say Matt or TJ or VJ, you might have a bunch of heads look at you at once, and you got to pick who to
So
talk
how
to.
are you? Is it volume? Is it?
I say Matt F.
Okay.
Matt R.
All right.
MG, Matty Gregory, MG.
Now, do you guys call Farrell Matty Ice at all?
Call him Matty.
So that's just something I picked up.
So are you thinking of dropping it? You're not getting any support.
No, I refuse to do that. Because somebody said, I guess Matt Ryan's nickname is also Matty Ice. I didn't know that, so now
It's okay.
I mean, that's what I was called in high school. So when I hear you say
you were
Matty
Ice too, so it's you too?
Yeah.
All right, so, oh boy, Notre Dame's guard Matty Ice. Notre Dame's three-point shooter Matty Ice. I'm not saying Notre Dame's Matty Ice. It works. The fans like it, so if fans like it, they get what they want.
Yeah.
Player on the team who might surprise fans before the season's over.
I think Austin Torres.
Okay.
What he brings, his energy is endless. His talk is endless. He's like the Energizer Bunny, and he's overall just one of the greatest people I've ever met and interacted with. He's a great friend of mine now, and now he's starting to play more, and he's starting to show his leadership skills on the court, and he's learned a lot. His game has matured. He's not going to score 12. He's not going to grab 15 rebounds, but he's going to do little things that are going to help us win. And if he can continue to make layups around the basket and grab defensive rebounds, he's going to be happy with that, and we're all going to be happy with that.
Toughest player to guard on the team?
Toughest player to guard? Probably Matt Farrell. He's just so quick, and he's like a dart on the court, and he's probably the toughest to guard.
As you know, there's now 4 former Notre Dame basketball captains on the staff. So I'm going to just throw their names at you. First thing that comes to your head. Ryan Ayers.
Young.
Eric Atkins.
Cool.
Ryan Humphrey.
Bald.
Harold Swanigan.
Funny.
Best defender on the team.
Best defender on the team. It's between Rex and Steve. I mean, they get assigned on probably the other team's toughest offensive players. So probably one of those two.
Best leaper on the team.
VJ.
Best dunker on the team.
Rex is probably he's had the most creative dunks that I've seen.
Worst dunker on the team.
TJ Gibbs.
Best dresser on the team.
Elijah Burns.
Worst dresser on the team.
Me.
Best singer on the team.
Me.
Worst singer on the team.
Rex.
Best comedian on the team.
Bonzi and Austin Torres. Every time they talk, you're expecting a laugh. Especially Torres. When he talks, you can just gaze at him for half a minute or a minute because he's just going to ramble and he's going to laugh at the end of it.
Guy who thinks he's funny but really isn't.
Probably Rex.
And finally, beard growing competition. Who wins, you or Coach Brey?
I can't do that, so he's got it.
All right. I tell you, and I say this occasionally to players after interviews, I have found the key to success in life is the ability to communicate in front of crowds, to groups, or one-on-one. We've been just listening to a college sophomore now for about 20 minutes, and he's been terrific.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Fabulous, Matty. Really good, buddy.
Good job. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Eat your food and get on out of here.
We'll be
Great
back
see
to
you,
wrap
buddy.
things up on this week's Mike Brey Radio Show right after this.
There are countless not very smart things you can do in your car. Painting your body green in support of Notre Dame basketball while driving. Painting your friend's body. Pretty much any kind of body painting while driving. But with TireRack.com, it's easy to be smart about your tires. Use our test results and consumer reviews to find the best tire for your car. Use our comparison tools to choose the right tires for you. Then have them shipped and installed fast. TireRack.com, official tire experts of Notre Dame basketball.
Join the gang at O'Rourke's Public House, located in Eddy Street Commons, directly across the street from the Notre Dame campus. With over 24 beers on draft and an extensive selection of menu items, they're sure you'll find something to your liking. Experience dining in one of the 5 different Irish-themed areas overlooking Notre Dame's beautiful campus. Whether you're catching up with an old friend, meeting or enjoying dinner with your family, O'Rourke's is the place to be. Visit them online at o'rourkespublichouse.com. Cheers to the Irish from O'Rourke's, the official home of the Mike Brey Radio Show.
With Xfinity, you can stream 130 live channels from here.
What was that?
And catch up on 40,000 shows, well, in here.
The doctor will be right with you.
You can even download your X1 DVR library from here.
Now boarding all rows.
So you can watch it later when you're up here. Only Xfinity gives you more to stream to any screen. Visit Xfinity.com/TV today.
Bank of America and the Notre Dame Alumni Association bring you the Notre Dame Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards Visa Card. You can earn cash back on purchases, groceries, and gas, and even get a $100 cash rewards bonus offer. Head online to my.nd.edu/credit card and learn more today. 2 card designs available, either the football helmet or the Golden Dome. The Notre Dame Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards Visa Card. Online at my.nd.edu/credit card.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show, presented by TireRack.com. Challenges. Coming up before our next show, you're going to be at Carolina Saturday, Wake Forest in Tuesday. Carolina is a huge challenge, but you've mentioned not only have you played in championship games against them, you've won 3 of the last 5. So your guys, and you beat them last year here.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is the unattainable. And Pitt almost beat them the other day. They've lost to Miami, who you beat. They've lost to Georgia Tech, who beat you, but they beat them by double digits, and you hit the buzzer. So, I mean, it's a very gettable game. It's not the name. Sometimes people think, oh, you can't do it. This is a very gettable game. What do you got to do?
Well, there's no question, Jack. You know, it's interesting when I think about our program. You had mentioned it. Duke beats us the other night, and it's the first time they beat us in a while. And they put up a highlight video of beating Notre Dame on their website.
Music video, yeah, right? Celebrating it.
Kind of tells you where our program is. You know, you just mentioned that we've beaten North Carolina 3 out of the last 5 times. Kind of tells you where this program has been. So there's no question that we go there confident. We go there going for it. We know they are a heck of a team. We have to get our transition defense in order because they come down on you fast. Our post defense and our blockouts will be challenged for 40 minutes because they pound the backboard. But we want to open the floor up a little bit and make them chase us around outside that arc some and see if we can get into a nice offensive rhythm.
All right, 6 p.m. Saturday night, pregame Eastern Time, 5:40 on these stations. We have 4 shows left, each of the next 4 Thursdays. Hope to see you here or listening at home. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming out. Good night and go Irish.
The Mike Brey Radio Show.